You have a graveyard of half-built things, and you blame yourself for every headstone. The course you stopped at Module 4. The app that lives in a folder you avoid opening. The newsletter with 2 issues and a logo you spent a weekend perfecting. You've decided the common factor is you, your weak will, your broken follow-through. By the end of this, you'll see the actual common factor, and it has a fix you can run today. Start with the question you've been asking wrong for years. Why do you keep quitting? You've answered it the same way every time. Discipline. So you download another habit tracker, you wake up at 5, you white-knuckle your way back into the project for 9 days, and then it dies again, quieter this time. The tracker is the wrong tool. The question is the wrong question, because the real question is when. When is the thing done? Pick any project sitting open in your life and try to finish that sentence. I'll know this is complete when _R. For most of your dead projects, you can't fill the blank. And a project with no defined finish line behaves like a room in your house with the light left on. Think about what your brain does with an unfinished thing. It keeps it warm, it loops back to it at 3 a.m, in the shower, mid-conversation, tapping you on the shoulder. Still here, still open, still yours to deal with. Psychologists have studied this loop for nearly a century. Unfinished tasks occupy memory in a way completed ones release. A waiter remembers your complicated order perfectly until the check is paid, then forgets it entirely. The bill closing is what frees the mind. Now look at what you've actually built. 1 open loop, try 11. The course, the app, the body you're recomposing, the language you're learning, the business idea, the side income, the discipline project itself. Every one of them is a light left on. And the deferral that follows is mathematical, not moral. When everything is permanently available, nothing is ever due. An open project with no completion state is by definition work you can always do later. Because later never gets contradicted by a deadline that was never set. So on any given Tuesday, with 11 things all whispering, "You could work on me," your brain does the only rational thing. It picks the one with the loudest charge that day, or it picks none, because choosing one means abandoning 10. Paralysis is the correct output of a system with 0 closed loops. Sit with that, because it reframes the guilt you've been carrying. You're a person running 11 processes that were never given a stopping condition. Same operator, broken architecture. So how does anyone escape it? Not by caring more. You already care. That's why the graveyard hurts. The escape is brutally specific. You have to manufacture the completion state the project never had. Here's what that looks like with your dead app idea. Build an app has no finish line. Apps are never done. There's always another feature, so the loop stays open forever, and your brain knows it. Now shrink it to something with an edge. Ship one screen that lets a single user log one thing, and put it in front of 3 real people by Sunday. That sentence can be true or false by Sunday night. It has a wall at the end. The moment a project can be measurably wrong, it can also be measurably done. And done is the only thing that turns the light off. Notice what you just did. You kept the ambition and gave it a doorframe. The big vision can stay enormous. The unit you actually commit to has to be small enough to die a clean death, to be finished, buried with honor, and crossed off so the next one can begin. There's a trap underneath all of this, and once you see it, you'll catch it everywhere. You've been treating a direction as if it were a destination. Get fit is a direction. It has no completion state, so it competes for your attention forever, and you never feel the click of finishing. Run this specific program 3 times a week. Log every plate in Savor, link in the description, to pin your protein to a number until I can do 10 dead hang pull-ups is a destination. It ends. You arrive, the light goes off, and that off click is the reward your brain has been starving for this whole time. Let me give the other side its strongest version because someone's already arguing in their head. Real builders don't think in tidy finish lines. They chase open-ended visions for years. That's true at the level of the vision. The people who reshape whole industries are running decade-long arcs with no neat endpoint. But look at how they spend a Tuesday. Underneath the grand horizon, their week is a stack of brutally closed loops. Ship this, test that, published by Friday. The vast horizon stays open on purpose. The daily work closes on purpose. You've been doing the reverse. A vague vision sitting on top of vague tasks. Nothing closing anywhere. The whole stack humming with unfinished light. And consider what the competition between loops actually costs you, hour by hour. Every open project takes a small tax on your attention, even when you're not touching it. You sit down to work on the app, and the language course pings at the back of your skull. You switch to the workout plan, and the business idea starts negotiating. 11 loops means 11 tiny background drains running at all times, which is why you end most days exhausted by work you never actually did. The fatigue is real. The output is zero. That gap between how tired you feel and how little moved is the signature of an unclosed system. This is why the productivity tools betrayed you. A to-do list is a machine for adding open loops. You write, work on novel. You feel organized and you've just lit another lamp with no switch. The app full of checkboxes rewards you for capturing intentions. And capturing an intention is the opposite of closing it. You need fewer things on the list, each with a defined depth. So, cut. This is the part nobody wants to hear. To finish anything, you have to consciously kill most of what's open. Pausing keeps the light on, and later is the lie that keeps it burning. Take 10 of your 11 projects and formally bury them. Say it out loud. This is dead. I am not doing this. The loop is closed by abandonment. It feels like loss. It's the first completion state you've created in years, and your attention floods back to you like blood returning to a limb you'd been sitting on. Pick one. Just one. Give it a finish line you could verify with a stopwatch and a witness. Then protect that single light while the others go dark. Watch how this plays out in someone's actual week. A guy I know wanted to start a YouTube channel, learn to edit, grow an audience, and eventually sell a course off the back of it. 4 open loops stacked on top of each other, each one waiting on the last, none of them with an edge. He spent 3 months researching and shot nothing. Then he rewrote the whole thing into a single closed sentence. 10 videos, 1 a week, published whether they're good or not, ending on a Sunday in March. That was the only change. The research stopped, the camera turned on, and the wall at the end of the runway is what finally made him move. You don't need 10 of those at once. You need 1 with a date. The reason the date matters is older than any productivity advice. A deadline is just a completion state, borrowed from the outside world. When school gave you a due date, you finished, clumsily at midnight, fueled by panic, but you finished. Then you left that world and started building things for yourself, and suddenly nobody was setting the walls anymore. You inherited the freedom and lost the finish lines in the same move. The whole skill of self-direction is learning to install the deadlines that nobody is going to hand you ever again. That's the real cost of building a life on your own terms. You become the only person who can close your loops. And watch what happens to your sense of yourself. Right now, your identity rests on a pile of evidence that you quit. Every dead project, a small deposit into the belief that you're the kind of person who bails. Each time you close a loop, even a tiny one, you make a withdrawal against that belief. Finish the 1 screen. Finish the 3-week program. Finish the 2,000-word essay you said you'd publish. The proof stacks the other way now. You become someone who closes things. And that identity does more for your follow-through than any amount of 5 a.m. suffering ever did. There's a quiet trap even here, so don't romanticize the finish. Some loops should stay open. A craft, a relationship, your health, the long game of your own mind. Those are directions you walk for life, fed by small closed loops along the way. A project you want off your plate gets a wall, a date, and a slammed door. Confuse the two, and you'll either quit things that deserve a lifetime or carry things that deserve a funeral. Be honest about the limits too. Some of your projects died for a different reason. They were never yours to begin with. You started the dropshipping store because a video told you to, not because you wanted it. No completion state can rescue a thing you don't actually care about, and you shouldn't want it to. The architecture fix only works on projects that are genuinely yours. For the rest, the kindest move is the clean burial. So go back to your graveyard one more time, but walk it differently. Those headstones were never proof of a flaw in you. They're projects you opened and never gave permission to close. You can grant that permission now to most of them by letting them stay dead, and to one of them by building the wall at the end that lets you finally arrive. The switch was always inside the project, waiting for you to define the moment it turns off. Define it. Then go turn one off tonight and feel for the first time in a long while what it's like to stand in a room that's finally gloriously dark.